Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. You guys requested an earlier morning live stream and we are going to experiment with them for about the next month or so. I am still going to do the live stream later on today as well for my regular viewers, but there were just enough folks over the pond that requested enough early one that I figured I'd go ahead and give it a try, see what happens. They are going to rotate between Wednesday and Thursday because every other one of those days I have a lunch meeting, and so it's going to jump back and forth. So generally it alternates weeks, Wednesday, then Thursday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, but occasionally it will not. So just make sure you are checking the channel. If you want the notification, good luck. I don't think we get them anymore, particularly on my channel. I've been so suppressed on the YouTube algorithm, I dropped in ranking from B- to C+ again on Social Blade. Oh well, happens. Or I just need to have better content. I don't know what it is. But anyway, if you do want to increase the slight odds from 0.01 to 0.02%, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and then check the phases of the moon and maybe pray to your respective gods. And then you might actually get the notifications. But check the channel. I try and put the notifications out as early as I know when I'm going to be streaming. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 Eyes to break encryption. And before we do that, let's go ahead and jump on into the comments. Start by saying thank you to Paul for the super chat. Really enjoy the great content and keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much. I will do my darndest to keep up the great content. And I have some other great things coming down the pipeline. I did finally get the replacement for my Icy dock in yesterday, so that means I want to go back to start doing the Cubes tutorials again. Since Cubes has been re-released to Cubes version 4, I want to work with that again, and I really was, I was waiting to get the Icy dock because it's just a pain to get in there on the computer and swap out hard drives left and right. So that's kind of what was going on between there. So that is, hopefully we do that. We get some distros coming down the road and things like that. So Richard Addison is watching me. Awkward. Tom Joyner, hello there. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master, hello. Ryan McCoon, greetings. Mr. GFY, morning, yo. And Paul, how's it going there? Dude, switch to Tor. I use Tor on my phone. Half my web browsers use Tor. Because the thing about Tor is you don't want to log into any account. If there's any account you need to log into, you want to make sure you're not using Tor. And so I use Orbot on my Lineage phone, so that I can redirect the majority of my browsers through the Tor network, but if I need something that is more of a specific login, more of a personal tied account, you want to use a web browser that is not connected to the Tor browser for that. So there's some interplay there. But yes, I do use Tor where I can. And that's another great thing about getting Cubes back up online, is because Cubes will allow exactly that. I can use Tor on things, and I can use non-Tor on things on the same system easily on a desktop in that manner. So, and Lauren Annex, greetings. This cat's fur is like shedding all over. It's like getting right in my nose. It's like, oh, I'm not allergic to cats, but man, it's like having fiberglass. If you've ever done insulation where you get the fiberglass on you, that's what I feel like right now. So, Kitty, you might have to go away for a little bit. All right. So you see underneath the deepen link, subject intro link. Yeah, there was some questions. If you didn't see the video yet, I did install deepen, so I have a funny video. And it's like the funniest thing about the whole deepen video is that the thing crashed out at the end of the video. So I'm like, oh well, let's just go ahead and leave that in. So, you know, let's show real experiences. The biggest problem it seems with Deepen, I don't know if it's the OS or if it's the desktop environment, but if the desktop crashes, it doesn't reboot itself. It just completely freezes your system. Oh boy, that was exciting. Anyway, let's see. Use Deepen. Hope you figured out the folder. Still in Chinese was WPS app template folder. Okay, so is it WPS template folder or is it the template folder? Kind of difference. But I'll go ahead and see what I can do with that. Still morning on the East Coast? Not anymore. As of 5 minutes ago, it is now afternoon on the East Coast. But it was when you made that comment, for sure. 5 Eyes Conspiracy to Break Encryption. Intro link posted underneath the Deepen video. Oh, cool. Interesting. Okay. And you're doing an early stream. Have to be at work at 2. Yep. I have a dumb question. All right. Oh, okay. That was the one there. Yes, if it is possible to move the home folder from Debian-based to Arch-based, for the most part, it's going to work. You still need to reinstall the packages because the home folder only takes the configuration and the settings, which means it's infinitely better than Windows already, where I'd have to go through and rebuild all my settings and info and all that kind of stuff. So Linux allows that cross portability so much so that I can move my Mozilla, I can move my Thunderbird, all that kind of stuff. All the emails stay, all the account settings stay. It's just ported. Now that might be bad for security if somebody steals that individual folder link. There is cat hair all over the place. My apologies. Jeesh, kitty, stop shedding. I'm gonna brush you, and you're not gonna like it. All right, need more deepen help? I can help you. Yeah, it seems to be running okay right now. All right. No, don't use Arch on principle. Can't stand the Arch community. Yeah. At the school, I mainly back up my documents, downloads, etc., folders, and move my data, but I'm curious. Mainly backup. Yeah, and I back everything up. But yeah, that's what I do is I keep a backup of all that going. Hello there. I cannot pronounce your name, but greetings. Should work. Also get 0 issues when I do that. Yeah, you might have a couple of issues moving between desktop environments that are not related, but even that I haven't noted a lot of issues. Mostly because I don't grab the entire home folder. I know exactly which folders in the configuration folders I want, so I really only move the specific applications I'm interested in keeping everything. Yep. Arch community can be really toxic, but so can the Linux community. Yeah, I had somebody leave a fairly rude elitist type comment on my video. It's like, oh yeah, anything that's not Arch is just stupid. And I just left it there instead of deleting it, saying, you know what, this elitist attitude is what causes a lot of the problems. Deal with it, you know? Let's see. He's so awesome. Thank you, I know I'm awesome. Yay! All right. Paul has 5 kitties. All right. All right. Did I not yet purge it? No. Okay. Paul, once again, thanks for the super chat. By the way, Tom, did you hear they are removing spec from 4.19? That's cool. I heard it was 4.20, but I haven't read anything official, just from comments. So, yeah, we'll have to look into it. That sounds great. Google's going to make its own encryption for low-end devices. Good. That's better. Hello, E4. How's it going there? Alice, greetings. And I totally use Google encryption. Piter, greetings. Hello, everyone in the kitty. Hello, Mr. Piter. Yeah? All right. Oh, boy. I lost my place. Finished my first Linux Mint install on a USB 3 drive. My SATA port runs like a decent hard drive. Yep, very good, very good. Doesn't use Google devices. Okay, notifications have been messed up for some time now. Yep. Google Chrome is getting a new theme look, apparently. Pray to the kitty. Uh-oh. He's not sovereign. I mean, he's my alien handler, but, you know. Mobile device alternative OSs are available. I mean, I use Lineage personally, just because I can get it without any Google services or apps and things like that. And it does a good job at privacy and security for me. So that's it. RSS feed. Yeah, you can do RSS feeds for that. I am live. Yes, Skyrim Holmes. I will be live again later on today as well. Ubuntu Touch, Lineage OS, Remix, Resurrection, Bliss OS. Yep. See an icy dock in my future as well. Yep, I really like the icy dock. Tested it all out and everything. Usually get notifications, but I usually have Chromium closed. Yep. Ashish Gupta, hello there. They all, apart from Tizen, based on Android. Most of them are. There's a few that aren't. Use Tor and Orbot on the phone. Yep. I'm going to cover / talk about mSpy. Never heard of mSpy, so I don't know. Send me some information and I'll look into it. Well, I could download and install my modern Android-based device to replace Android altogether. No, all of the derivatives, so like Android itself is an open source. It's the Google components that make Android a little bit more spy-y like. That's why open source applications like Lineage come along. They strip all that Google stuff out, so you have basically just a standard system. The only other thing we're going to get is in a few months, Librem 5 should be released. The Purism is releasing the Librem 5 phone. That is a true Linux-based phone. So that will be out soon. But other than that, we have Android, we have iOS. That's it right now. Everything else is kind of based on that. Name got highlighted from your comment. All right, cool. All right. So you're not a fan of Flatpak. I'm curious as to why. The reason I'm not a fan of Flatpaks is because the biggest problem with the Flatpaks is it's like an Android app. Everything is all internally combined all together in one basic source, which sounds nice in principle, but just like Android applications, it's very easy to sneak malware into there. That's just my thought on it. I'd rather just keep using that. I'd rather just keep using packages on Linux the way they are. And I realize there's some dependency issues, but you know, I don't know. It's a hit and miss. Obviously, I use them in some places. Kenny says, deep in is hot garbage. Well, we'll find that out at the end of my test. Board, so I decided to read Google privacy and highlight privacy issues. So many, only on page 4. Yep. Deepen's desktop environment is the best one I've seen. All right. Selfish OS is available for free, or is it a paid option? I don't know. It is purely the WPS Office folder. Okay, good to know. One of my cats lets me vacuum, and my cats run for terror when the vacuum turns on. Shame there's not been a big push for Linux-based mobile phone OS. Yeah, that is a shame. Even the ones that existed, Ubuntu Touch and things, they were all still based on Android. That will hopefully change with the Librem 5 phone. Say the Mega extension for Chrome was hacked yesterday and was installing a keylogger. All right, great to know. That's why I don't use extensions. Hello, Keegan. Greetings. People use whatever distro they like or whatever it's based on. Makes zero difference to me. Yep. I am going to have to jump into our... I'm going to go ahead and pause my comments here so we can actually jump into topic. That is kind of important. So before we do, we are going to, since we're talking about security and privacy, I will take a few brief moments to highlight one of my affiliates, NordVPN, mostly because we're dealing with encryption and some government attempts to break encryption. So if you use my affiliate link, which is down here below on the screen, which is tlm.li/Nord, that is my affiliate link for NordVPN. This is outside of the 14 eyes, and it is a Panama-based company. And with this promo, if you use a 2-year privacy package, you can get $4 per month. You can secure up to 6 individual devices at once. And of course, you can utilize one of, I think they have 1,500 or 2,500 different nodes. I forget exactly the number, how many nodes there were. But there are a whole lot of nodes. You can use this affiliate link. That actually helps support me. If you just want to go to Nord all on your own, you can go on there all on your own. I think it's nordvpn.com, but the affiliate link does give me does help out the channel. If you click on this guy to get the deal, you'll see that what you need to do is just select the plan. Of course, for $100, you get 2 years of access. It'd be $83 for 1 year. They have a 6-month for $54, or their single month plan is $11.95. Not the best rate on that. If you just want a single month, you might look at the other affiliate link, which I have in my description down below, which is private internet access. They have a $7 monthly plan if you want something like that. Of course, they're inside the 14 eyes. All you need to do is select your plan, enter your email address, and select a payment method, and note that they do accept cryptocurrencies. So that is good. They do PayPal, credit cards, and several of the other international currencies as well. So check that out as we dive on into our discussion on our 5 eyes. So what's going on here is the 5 eyes. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the 5 eyes, there is a fabulous video from Techlore. Now, this talks about the 14 eyes. So the 14 eyes is basically the 5 eyes expanded to 9 eyes, expanded to 14 eyes. Pretty soon it's going to be like the however many countries we have that actually have internet connection eyes. Basically, it's a conglomeration of several countries. Now, the Five Eyes, which is the oldest and most crucial, is United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Now, watch this video from Techlore, and it's called the VPN 14 Eyes Explained. And this kind of details what the 14 eyes are. So check that out. And if you're not subbed to Techlore, go and do that. I am subbed to him. This is not my browser that's logged into YouTube. So check his video out. But what happened is just a couple of days ago, I think it was August 28th and August 29th, the Five Eyes met together. And of course, we only have this information because the Australian government seems to be a little bit more transparent than the rest of us. If somebody did a FOIA for this meeting here, you'd probably just get something that resembled a big black page. But Australian government, at least to their credit, does release information. So this is coming from the Australian government. So these 5 countries, basically the attorneys generals and the security officers of these 5 countries met together August 28th and August 29th. So really we're just like exactly a week ago from when I'm recording this video. And they outlined this official communication for basically securing things. Now, they focused a lot on the internet thing. So they wanted a free, open, safe, and secure internet. Apparently they don't. But that's kind of the lip service that they are giving to this. Now, of course, they want to counteract a couple things. They want to counteract terrorism because, they're coming to get us all, everybody. We're going to, dude, you have a greater chance of walking down the street and getting hit with a meteor that falls out of the sky than you do of being involved in a terrorist event. Okay, to be honest, all this hoopla about it, it's pretty much all just to cause fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the population. And then the population looks to you and goes, help us, save us, Mr. Government. Of course, because a lot of people are recognizing that the instance of terrorism and threats is not quite as big as it's been extracted to. So now you have to go against the child sex abusers. Let's the terrorists and the child sex abusers and violent extremism. Lump all these guys together and to take a stand against this kind of stuff. Now, by de facto, the way our nation works, man, to take a stand to say, maybe we need to slow down and not trample people's rights here. Oh, you're just automatically involved in these people now. Ooh, what do you got to hide, huh? And so, of course, they're putting these as certain things. And then, of course, they have this coercive acts of interference and disinformation. We'll get more on this a little bit later. But they're utilizing these individual items. Now, senior digital industry representatives did not accept our invitation to participate in discussions on pressing issues regarding the illicit use of online spaces. We reiterated the need for digital industry to take more responsibility for content promulgated and communicated through their platforms and applications. All right. So basically they're asking the big tech companies to come in here and help them out. Basically what they're asking for here is, hey, big tech companies, give us raw access. Now, the battle's been raging for a while. Obviously there was the San Bernardino and the Apple case. There is the guy that has not been charged or sentenced, who has been in prison for 2.5 years now for the exclusive crime that he is failing to unlock his devices. They apparently don't have a case without his devices unlocked, but they need the information from his head to get it. Well, that sounds to me like a pretty clear-cut Fifth Amendment case. Now, if you suspect the guy of something, let him go and tail him. Do old-fashioned classic police work. You know, the very type of thing that took down Silk Road? I mean, really. So what they're trying to do, though, is they're trying to say, this guy's into child exploitation. This guy's into terror. We need to have our own back doors so we can get in and spy on these things. Now, the biggest challenge with this, and I think if they dropped one aspect of what they're doing, they would probably get slightly more cooperation. Because here's the thing. If the police suspect that there's something illegal going on in my property and they get a search warrant, I am made aware that they are doing their search. The biggest problem with these technology things is they want to get in there without anybody being aware. They want to get data and collect gag orders while they do it. And that in and of itself is the biggest issue, because now it's like you don't know that they're collecting data. So is this like tapping a phone? No, because Their access gives them past things. Past things is a search warrant issue. Present things is a wiretapping issue. So of course they're battling end-to-end encryption, and they're battling encrypted data and getting the backdoors into the things. I can understand some need for good court orders allowing some degree of access. However, the problem is once there is any vulnerability, it is completely invulnerable. Because once any hacker knows, or any team of hackers like Anonymous would know, that there is some type of government backdoor, it's immediately a target for the best hackers in the world. And it will be exploited. If you don't think it will be exploited, remember the Clipper chip. Okay, the Clipper chip was proposed by the Clinton administration in the early 90s, and basically it was an NSA-developed encryption chip that would encrypt and secure all voice communications and data messages going through the telephones. The problem is there was a backdoor built into this, and they pushed this as being great for the general security of the world, but it was kind of bad for, it was bad for the, bad for the criminals, because the NSA could get in there at any point in time. Go back to think of the telescreens in 1984. They could be watching you at any given point in time. It was the fear that kept you in line. Well, the problem is that this Clipper chip had a major vulnerability in that it leaked a low-level frequency called the LEAF, the Law Enforcement Access Field, which was so radically insecure, anybody with mild knowledge of this kind of stuff could actually get in there and access and decrypt everything on this. So it was absolutely horrible for privacy. But this is how this type of thing had occurred. So back to the Five Eyes secret meeting in last week, rather. They undertook to enhance the feedback loop between government and industry on intelligence information, including trends, sources on illicit content, and the aim of more comprehensively responding to malicious actors online. Now, a lot of what this has to do with is one of the biggest criticisms of the Five Eyes, as outlined by Edward Snowden, is that it is unconstitutional for the NSA to be spying on the American citizens, but they can spy on the citizens of UK. But, you know, MI6, I think it is, from UK, can't spy on their own citizens legally. Not that they don't, but they can't do it legally, but they can spy on the citizens of a foreign nation like United States. So now what happens is that UK will spy on us, we will spy on them, and then they'll just share notes and just trade data. Because, you know, third-party doctrine and things. The data wasn't collected on the citizens, it was collected from a security trend from another foreign agency. And that's kind of the biggest problem. So, of course, they want to counter the threat of terrorism, things like that. They want to talk about cybersecurity. They want to talk about the border management, interconnectivity of border management. This probably has to do with how, you know, collecting data. Now, this was a fun one here, down to 16. We condemned foreign interference being coercive, disruptive, and clandestine activities of foreign governments, actors, and their proxies to sow discord, manipulate public discourse, and bias the development of policy and disrupt. Well, here's the thing, people. Maybe if you listen to the will of the people and actually do what the will of people do, like you're supposed to do, I'm speaking here in the United States, instead of relying on marketing to convince the people what you want to do, we wouldn't be quite as suspect to it, or subject to it, because we won't be relying on marketing to tell us how to vote. I know that's asking for a lot, but you know how impacted I am by the Russians on Facebook? Zero, because I'm not on Facebook. Maybe we need to tell people to get off of our digital worlds, get off of the social media, and actually start doing reasonable, honest things with our time, rather than dedicate our lives to screens and screens and screens and screens. And that's just kind of the thing. It's like, I am not impacted by this Russian meddling because I'm just not on these platforms. Maybe if we just gave out more warnings about these. In fact, there was a fabulous video by Computing Forever. I think it was on Saturday, and it was about... he's saying, you know, is it time that smartphones came with warnings? Realize that Steve Jobs did not let his kids have tablets, phones, or anything like that until they were into their teens. Same with Bill Gates. Same with Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg wants his children. He wants so much privacy. He bought the entire city block he lives on to make sure that nobody can get close enough to the central house that he lives, because he wants privacy. He wants privacy for his children. He wants his children playing outside. But he wants your children. He wants my children addicted to the phones, on the screens, on the Facebook Kids app, so that they can get the brand loyalty and get into Facebook itself and become addicted at a younger and younger age. It's time that we back off from all this computer stuff and get out there and do something else for a little bit every now and again. All right. So this is where we get into the encryption. So encryption is vital to the digital economy of secure cyberspace and the protection of personal, commercial, and government information. The 5 countries have no interest in or intention to weaken encryption mechanisms. Yeah, yes they do. Yes, they want to completely break it, because there is no such thing as encryption that is strong for the world, but the government can get into, because the government is made of you and me, and they're drastically underpaid. And if some hacker comes along and is like, would you give me that code for like, how about $400,000? Be like, just don't say it came from me. And a hacker just stole the code with social engineering. The government is the people. The government is the people. That's what it is. The government is the people. We cannot make something secure and private for one people without compromising for others. We can't just let these people in and not let other people in. Their methods will be hacked. It will be problematic. It will have issues. There will be problems. There will be challenges. They go on. We recognize, however, that encryption, including end-to-end encryption, remember that last week they were fighting against encryption with Facebook. They're trying to break down, and look at systematically. Let me run down just the things I can remember off the top of my head. I don't have resources in front of me or references. Last week, they announced they're trying to convince Facebook to get in and basically become a man in the middle for WhatsApp communications. I already mentioned the guy that's not charged, no court date, no anything. He has just been in prison for 2.5 years because of encryption. We have the bill that was attempted to be introduced in the United States to break encryption. In Australia, they introduced a bill to completely break encryption. I covered it in my news, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever that came out. These are major issues. And encryption is very important for all of us, because, and the reason is, once they can get it the first time, realize how much information your Windows 10 device collects on you right now as you're using it. Think about the information collected on your iPhone or your Android about you right now. All of this stuff is live actively feeding. What if the government say, man, we're still not catching enough. We need that live feed of data on every person so we can feed into it machine learning and algorithms and let it spit out the information that we need. That's the next step. First, it's to break encryption. It's to crack in the door. It's to get in there, and now it's to perpetually monitor. And now we have the exact beginnings of 1984. You're constantly watched, although you may not be watched at this given point in time. The fear that everything you're doing is indeed on you right now. That's the problem. We need to have end-to-end encryption. We need to have the ability to encrypt things. And if the police suspect you're doing something illegal, they can rely on old-fashioned police work to figure it out. I mean, I understand the need for wiretaps, very close cases. But the problem is that our government has become so overboard with it. Everything now has a gag order. They want every bit of data. The best, most secure thing we can do is not have our data out there. I encourage you, don't use Google outside of the very rare cases you would have to. Don't sit there and rely on Facebook. Don't use cloud storage programs that their entire business model is cloud storage. Use things that are not intentionally built for that method. That's kind of the thing. Let's go on here. Inability of intelligence and law enforcement agencies to lawfully access encrypted data and communications poses challenge to law enforcement agencies' efforts to protect our communities. Therefore, we agreed to the urgent need for law enforcement to gain targeted access to data subject to strict safeguards, legal limitations, and respective domestic consultations. We've agreed to a statement of principles on access to evidence and encryption that sets out a framework for discussion with industry and resolving the challenges to lawful access posed by encryption while respecting human rights and fundamental freedoms. So that statement of principle is right here. The preamble, the governments of the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand are committed to personal rights and privacy. Excuse me. And support the role of encryption in protecting those rights. Encryption is vital to the digital economy and a secure cyberspace and the protection of personal and commercial government information. However, the increased use of sophistication of certain encryption designs present challenges for information in combating serious crimes and threats to national and global security. Many of the same means of encryption that are being used to protect personal, commercial, and government information are also being used by criminals, including child sex offenders, terrorists, and organized crime groups to frustrate investigations and avoid detection and prosecution. Privacy laws must prevent arbitrary or lawful interference, but privacy is not absolute. Let's pause right there for a moment. Do you remember the founding of America? Benjamin Franklin said, "He who gives up his privacy for security deserves neither privacy nor security." Think of that. This is how far the country has gone. We rebelled against UK, England at the time, and created an entire country based on privacy, based on freedom, and based on taxation without representation. That's exactly what we have now. We have no privacy, we have very little freedom, and we have lots of taxation without any representation because we are in a corporatocracy or an oligarchy. It is the companies who make the laws of this nation, and they do so to benefit them, not us, the little people. Getting back to this, it is an established principle that appropriate government authorities should be able to seek access to otherwise private information when a court or independent authority has authorized such. See, there's where our problem is. A public court is one matter. But what happens is we have these kangaroo courts. We have these backdoor closed business courts that are completely sealed. Those need to go away. Then maybe we might start cooperating slightly more. Has authorized such access based on established legal standards. Let's see those legal standards and let's talk about them as individual societies. The same principles have long permitted government authorities to search homes, vehicles, and personal effects with valid legal authority. I agree. And when you do away with the gag orders, we'll be in a better spot. The increasing gap between the ability of law enforcement to lawfully access data and their ability to acquire and use the content of that data is a pressing international concern that requires urgent, sustained attention and informed discussion on the complexity of the issues and interests at stake. Otherwise, court decisions about legitimate access to data are increasingly rendered meaningless, threatening to undermine the systems of justice established by our democratic nations. Each of the Five Eyes jurisdictions will consider how best to implement the principles of the statement, including the voluntary cooperation of industry partners. Any response, be it to legislative or otherwise, will adhere to requirements of proper authorization and oversight and the traditional requirements that access to information is underpinned by warrant or other legal process. We recognize that in giving effect to these principles, governments may have a need to engage with a range of stakeholders consistent with their democratic environment and legal frameworks. So here's the principles. The Attorney General and Interior Ministers, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand affirm the following principles in relation to encryption. Diminished access to the content of lawfully obtained data is not just an issue for governments alone, but for a mutual responsibility for all stakeholders. Providers of information and communication Technology and services, carriers, devices, manufacturers, over-the-top service providers are subject to the law, which can include requirements to assist authorities to lawfully access data, including the content of communications, safe and secure communities, benefit citizens, and the companies that operate within them. So that is the part that everyone's been making the hoopla about. If you don't provide us access, we are going to mandate it into law that you give us access. We are always willing to work with technology providers in order to meet our public safety responsibilities and ensure the ability of citizens to protect their sensitive data. Law enforcement agencies in our countries need technology providers to assist with the execution of lawful orders. Currently, there are some challenges arising from the increasing use of sophistication of encryption technology and related to which further assistance is needed. Governments should recognize that the nature of encryption is such that there will be situations where access to information is not possible, although such situations should be rare. Okay, the rule of law and due process are paramount. Of course, make sure there's standards in place. Yeah, we don't have those much anymore. Freedom of choice for lawful access situations. Governments of Five Eyes encourage information, communications, technology service providers to voluntarily establish lawful access situations in their products and services that they create or operate in our countries. Governments should not favor particular technology. Instead, providers may create customized solutions tailored in their individual system architectures and are capable of meeting lawful access requirements. Such solutions can be a constructive approach to current challenges. Should the government continue to encounter impediments to lawful access to information necessary to aid protection of the citizens of our country, we may pursue technological enforcement, legislative, or other means to achieve lawful solutions. I think that the government just said we're going to completely hack you guys if you guys don't respond in kind. These are concerns, people. These are concerns. These are honestly, legitimately concerns. So what do we do as a take-home? Well, my take-home is this. I don't use any offline services, any online services that I have ways around. When I'm talking about doing calendars or things like that, I use things like that I can do through Nextcloud. Anything that I need to share across the internet type stuff, I use Nextcloud for, rather than utilizing Google services, Microsoft services, Dropbox, things like that. And Nextcloud is a great resource. You can use it like Google Docs. You can use it like Dropbox. I can create a folder on a place where you can literally upload a file to me if I needed to. I can put a file in there, send the link to somebody to download. I can set limitations, expirations, and passwords. All that kind of stuff I can do through an end-to-end encrypted system that I control. Now, of course, I have the hosting company. Well, make sure you get a hosting type provider that my hosting company actually does not have access to my server. I am the only one with root access. Anytime they need to get in there to do something, I actually have to provide for them that password. Now, is it possible they could find another way in? In theory, it's possible, but it's extremely secure. That's why I use A2 hosting. If you're interested in that, I have a link for that. A2 hosting is what I'm using. So I dropped that link right in the live feed right there. So if you're following along later, you can check the look for that link. It's tlm.li/A2H, A number 2H. And so that is really the, what I do. Obviously, I don't use any other online services in any way, shape, or form for anything personal. I do have some business accounts on some of those items for business type purposes, but I'm not using any of those to store photos, any of that kind of stuff. I rely on a good offline backup system for all of that. And I encourage everybody to do that. Use as few of these online services as possible. Use custom ROMs on your phones that don't have direct inborn connections to Google. Use things like that. Be very careful what information you do put on your smartphone. Use offline resources when you can. In my case, I don't store any of my data online. I actually store my data in a safety deposit box in a bank on an encrypted drive. I'm not using any companies like Veracrypt for any of that encryption. I am actually using the ones that come with Linux. I'm using Lux is what I'm using with Linux. And I've made the decision to use that because despite it's not cross-platform, I can keep a Linux distribution laying around in my safety deposit box as well, which has the full ability to access that should I need to. So those are those types of things you want to keep in mind. Those are the practical take-homes. We are going to be spied on. There is no such thing as perfect privacy, but there are things we don't want to take a rollover and play dead attitude. Because of that, we want to take some solid steps to protect our own privacy. And for crying out loud, people, don't do illegal stuff. Just don't do illegal stuff. But I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong, so I have nothing to hide. You do have something to hide, and you will find out what that is when they come for you. And remember the quote that was made, it was made famous by Bonhoeffer. You know, they came for the, I mean, I forget all of the ins and outs, all of the different things, but you know, they came for the unionists, the trade unionists, but I wasn't a trade unionist, so I didn't speak up. Then they came for the Jews. I wasn't a Jew. I didn't speak up. They came for me. Now there's no one left to speak up for me. Okay, you do have something to hide. We all do. Just keep that in mind. But refrain from doing illegal activity, people. That's the best thing to do. So we'll wrap up once again. If you are interested in picking up some internet access, some security for your internet access, affiliate NordVPN is one of my affiliates. Using the link that is in the description down below or here on the screen, you can actually get 2 years of internet access for $3.99 per month. They have 1 month, 6 month, 1 year, and 2 year plans. You can connect up to 6 individual devices, and you can pay with PayPal, with credit cards, or with cryptocurrency. Don't forget to take a look at the other links in the description down below. I am on Patreon, patreon.com/TomM. Also related to Patreon is my thinklifemedia.com. That is a great place to help support the channel as well. You can pick up a mouse pad, a coffee cup, things like that at shop.switchedtolinux.com, and I have other support channels at switchedtolinux.com/support. So thanks for coming along, and we're going to spend some time on the comments. Whoa. Looks like we had a little bit of a lag there for a second. Looks like internet's back. Yeah, they didn't like my final rant. My apologies for the lag, and I don't think there was much of it, just at the final wrap up there. So, all right, let's see. Let's see. I think it's over here. All right. Operating systems need to be easy if full adoption is to take place. Yes. What about the Wookiees attack on the droids? Well, I mean, you just got to be careful of those Wookiees. Best thing about those is you just gotta get them and just get them right under the chin. Just a little thing like this. They kind of like roll over to a little kitty and expose their belly and start doing this. That's what you do with an Ewoks. They look threatening in numbers, but don't worry, the Ewoks are easy to conquer. All right. If it weren't for the Arch user repository, I'd not use Arch probably. It's a great project, but they should be nicer to those trying to learn. And that's the truth, Benjamin. You don't just jump into Arch. If you really want to help people, man, you got to get in there and just be like, yeah, let's all help each other out. Really, let's help each other out. For the Arch, let's see. Okay. I don't get it. Why argue what distro and what not? Use what's your liking. Yeah, I mean, I guess different people have different preferences, I guess. Like to switch to Lineage from iPhone, but I absolutely need Maps, and Apple Maps is much more private than Google Maps. Where's my phone? OpenStreetMaps is an option. It is not as good with directions as things like Google Maps, but this is OSM and all entirely offline maps. I download the maps, I go offline, so this actually gets around that whole, oops, my data died and I don't know where I am now thing, because all my maps are downloaded offline. You do have an online option, but OSM and is that application. It's a free and open source app. It might be available for iPhone. Go ahead and have a look at that and see if that will actually work for you. But it's all offline stuff, offline maps, offline everything, best of all worlds. What's the best privacy search engine? I personally use StartPage. Another good one is DuckDuckGo. So one of those two are really good. All right. MS Spy is an app which allows parents or anyone to monitor the kids. And they're... oh, yeah, I do remember them. Yeah, whoops. Yeah, I wouldn't use any stuff like that, honestly. Chrome is rounded off around the edges. Yep. Arguing which distro is best. Uh-oh. Lost my place again. Google. They keep on trying to make improvements to this, but they keep on like ignoring the things that are broken the most. Arguing which distro is best is like which car is best. It depends on individual needs. Well, this kitty is best right here, right? Are you the best kitty? Yeah, are you? All right. You're to the comments. I know I'm getting fed soon, so I got to come back. All right. All right. We all know cookies and kitties are the best. Yep. OpenStreetMaps is good. What do you use with F-Droid? Got to pair it with access to GPS, though, for navigation. Oh, really? I've not seen that address to GPS. I'll have to look into that. That's one of the things that this application's not as good at is directions. Okay. Address to GPS. Kitty. Really, cat? The cat just stole my hand. Literally. The cat just stole my hand. All right, kitty. All right, you win. Let's see. I mean, DuckDuckGo is awesome. Quack, quack, quack. Duck, duck, goose. NordVPN released a CLI client for Linux. Yep. Good morning, Steven. How's it going there? Hello, Mr. Anderson. An offer for 3 year at the moment for $3 a month. Yeah, I maybe need to update my link. You do a tutorial for Firefox and Linux hardening. I'll see what I can do. Oh, Joe just received a notification. All right, let's see. I have a dream. One day there won't be desktop computers and smartphones anymore. They will stand together in a single powerful, portable, low-power device that can stand in your hands. Won't happen. Will not happen. There's too many desktop applications that we need that require way more than mobile computing will probably ever get us. Why is it wrong for the Nazis to do this, but okay for the country to do this? That's a very good question. Because they were Nazis. We all know they were evil. I was involved in a terrorist event and I still think giving up protection prevented is kind of a terrible idea. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah. T America, name of channel, Five Eyes, nations. We want access to encrypted data, name of video. What have you got to hide? Everyone responds to why I want to avoid social media and corporate data collection. Have you seen what our culture is becoming? Yep, a family protect. Yep. The Cold War all over again. Yep. Hello, Joe. Greetings. Spec was not activated on most distros. Yeah, just Arch. The internet was always used for both good and evil. These people are trying to break our rights under the pretense of protecting people, which is very stupid. Yep. So apparently the spec is going to be released in 4.19 or 4.20. I'm still waiting to see solid information on all that, but that's where we're getting information. Now, spec, Joe, is the NSA backdoor that was put in the Linux 4.17 Linux kernel. See you later, Frost Ranger. Just got here and sure I missed something. Yep. Not spec is controversial encryption. Okay. These Brits will be good for something. Facebook is actually fool's book. Sometimes you just need to take a long walk in the woods to think about all this insanity going on. Zuckerboy wants privacy for his kids. Yep. Hope this was Tom's conspiracy time, but it is serious. Not that surprising, though. Yep. You know, Zuckerboy wants privacy for his kids, and Facebook is truly dangerous. Yep. Really hope they introduce a backdoor. That day I tell my boss to take a hike and make my main job hacking people. Question, Tom, if you dual boot with Windows 10 and Linux, does MS still spy on what you do? No, because Windows can't see ext4 partitions. It sees a drive that needs formatted. So be careful with that. But yeah. But no, Windows can't read it. Yes, thank you, Alex. Alice, you clarified. All right. Normal law-abiding citizens shouldn't be tracked and watched like known criminals. Yep, but they are. Remember the tech we had to be... Remember the tech we use had to be declassified for civilian use. Yeah? Read what is on it being done. I guess you have to do is look at the network traffic. No, for sure. Okay, professionals use a minimum of 3 dedicated systems. 1 for games, 1 for surfing, never personal, real info, and 1 for banking. Yep. That's what I use. I mean, I don't have 1 for games because I don't play games. Rebelled against out T-tax, and now look how much you pay. Yep. However, UK's gone higher than us even though, so. Indeed, governments are not there for people, just like large corporations are not there for the people. It's all about the shareholders. Guarantees oversight works. It's easy to spy sneakingly. I was missing a post. The Five Eyes is contributors Australia, Canada, New Zealand, United States, and UK. Yep. Something snook onto Linux, you'd better believe it'll be pasted everywhere. Yep. By design is incapable to be truthful, help people provide goods and services, etc. Yep. What happened with Deepin? It was only analytics. And what happened with Ubuntu? I don't hear Ubuntu changing their tune, although Deepin did. Stop recommending mainline Ubuntu anyway. Canonical showed us often enough they can't be trusted. Seems that John Doe has heard Tom his advice to use live USB for online banking. Good idea. Yep. Oh, is John Doe on? I didn't see John Doe. If you purge the spyware, push firmware, microcodes, or other ones, be rate need to refresh the stream. All right. Feels like the canonical Ubuntu wants to be mainstream, so they'll have a problem putting things in their distro to help out governments with tracking. Yep. Okay, so we cannot trust online encryption drives, but how much can we trust local encryption? I mean, I think local encryption is your safest bet at this point in time. 74 and 23 likes. Yeah, we're down to 69 right now. We peaked at 76, it looks like. 30F is the God mode byte in x86. Allows 3 to access ring 0, bypassing security. Hello, Roger. Greetings. Mr. Child, hello there. Smash the like button for everyone. Support the man. Yep, thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the likes. Saddle Ridge, greetings. Can consumer enforce MD5 or SHA? MD5 is very insecure, though. Non-encryption only creates the checksum. Call me crazy, but I go distro hopping binges. Sometimes I come back to Linux Mint. Now, Mint gets a lot of hate, but it works. That's the thing. Yep. Con did a video on YouTube about the God mode byte for 86. Yeah. Build Xerox on your local host. Best search engine for privacy. I'll have to look into Xerox more on a locally served. I know loading it, like using it on their system is crazy. You want to talk about, look at this thing. He's still stealing my arm. He's just like, no, it's mine. Kitty's name. This kitty's name is CJ. I have TJ and CJ. CJ is a Bible thumper too. Yeah. Proton VPN sounds good too. Swiss, not Swedish. Proton VPN is Swiss. Ubuntu equals snapshot of Debian SID every 6 months plus modifications. Link on the comment of your last video about PriveX. You'll love it. All right, we'll see if I can find it. Linus rejected spec, but Google got it pushed in the kernel. Wow. That's scary. 2 hard drives, one with Windows, another with Mint. Can't just get completely out of Windows. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. For things that you have to run on Windows, that's a good way to do it. A new service on Windows, it makes you run Linux on Windows systems. Sometimes it crashes. Even Windows 10 doesn't overwrite the MBR anymore. Huh. On the phones, before you say missed it. The God mode byte is very real, folks. Bypasses all security. Tried tortilla. I make my own tortillas. Does that count? But no, I don't know what tortilla is. What people have called when these streams and chats, not the other times, doing nothing. Yeah, not even SHA-256 can withstand collision and attack. Later, Tom. Have to either be very important or very unlucky for someone to get God mode on your computer. Title sounds like a horror movie. I know. Greetings, TotalOS Today. How's it going there? Check out TotalOS Today's channel, everybody, if you haven't already. What will happen if I can encrypt my home folder? What will happen? Whoa. Did you just restrict the message I was trying to read about encrypting a folder? I think Roger's more used to Belgian than Dutch. Run OpenVPN on a VPS and have total control. Long live the kitty. John Doe, if you're the same John Doe who provided a donation the other day, thank you very much. You actually purchased the Temptations that the kitty is going to be like, oh boy. No, we're not feeding you yet, little guy. Almost. I ran out of Temptations the other day, so... All right, can I share a link to the article I wrote on privacy and security? Yes, I made you a mod. Go ahead and post the article, and then I'm going to take your mod off. Go ahead and do that. But let's go ahead, though, and get our feeding the kitty out of the way. And then we'll get that link, and then we'll go ahead and any of that. So, oh boy, kitty. Oh boy, kitty. Hey, kitty. People don't really want to see that end of you. Here, this way. There you go, buddy. All right, buddy. Okay. All right, this way over here. Over here. Over here. Over here. And you got to get the last one with your paw. The last one with your paw. Get it. Go get it. Go in there and get it. Get your paw. Get your paw going there. Come on. Get your paw in there. Get your paw in there, buddy. Get your paw in there. Oh, he's going to grab a handful. Uh-oh, there he goes. Yeah. You're a good boy, aren't you? Are the finger looking good? Yeah, your finger looking good. All right. All right. So take a look at that article there, too. I've not read it yet, but go ahead and have a look at that. Roar. Yeah. Was they good? Are those good? Are those good? You like those? Yeah? You want more? No, you can't have more. No, they're going away now. He's like, dude, but I want more. I want more. I want more. There are no more, buddy. There are no more. Oh, boy. All right. All right, buddy. Okay. Tom M, your thoughts on Box Cryptor? I do not know anything about Box Cryptor. Let me write it down. Maybe I should do an entire series on just various encryption-y type stuff. He grabbed the paw fold. Nom, 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 nom. Kitty needs a diet. He's just big-boned. Actually, he is just big-boned. If you actually see him wet, he is like a little thing. Well, he's not as little as the other one, but... All right, guys, it's been about 1 o'clock. I need to get some writing done in my book, and then I need to get to work. And we will be back with another live stream tonight for my regular live stream time, which is going to be 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time tonight. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. I'm going to probably do a distro review. Maybe I'll talk about Deepin a little bit. Maybe I won't because I'll spread those out. But yeah, I'll do something distro related somewhere tonight. I had something else in mind, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off because I don't have time to do any research right now. So, oh, and I need to get out a video for the other channel too. Oh boy, it's a busy afternoon. Mean with decryption, the OS query for me, my Lux encryption password upon boot. Wait, what? Hello, Chad V. I have not seen you for a while. All right. Decryption. Will the OS query me for Lux encryption password? Oh, okay. All right. So if you are doing full disk encryption, then when you set up your device and you boot it, then it's going to ask you for the passcode when you first start. If it is only an encrypted home folder, then it asks, obviously, that is tied to your login. So your login will get you into the decryption there. So I think that might be where you're getting to. But yeah, if you're on Lux encryption, then it will ask you for password if you have full disk encryption on. All right. To watch encryption episode. Have a wonderful afternoon. Have to watch the replay tonight's show. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming along. Don't forget to check out the descriptions and the link down below. And we will chat with you guys later.